Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events shaping our world. I'm your host, Walter, and we're glad you're joining us today. We're starting off with a developing story that's been making headlines around the globe. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine has been ongoing for years, and now, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a new deadline for Russian President Vladimir Putin to reach a truce with Ukraine. According to reports, Trump has given Russia 10 more days to halt the fighting, with the threat of potential economic penalties if they don't comply. This latest move by the Trump administration is seen as an effort to pressure Putin into ending the war, which has resulted in thousands of deaths and displaced millions of people. The U.S. president has been vocal about his frustration with a lack of progress in resolving the conflict, despite several phone calls with Putin. It's worth noting that the Kremlin has responded to Trump's threat by saying they've taken note of it, but it's unlikely to change their course of action. Russia has continued to ramp up its missile and drone attacks on Ukraine in recent weeks, targeting civilians and cities. The international community is watching this situation closely, with many countries calling for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. The U.S. has been a key player in trying to broker a deal, but so far, no agreement has been reached. We'll continue to monitor this story and provide updates as more information becomes available. It's a complex and sensitive issue, and we'll strive to bring you balanced and unbiased reporting. In related news, the oil market has responded to Trump's announcement, with prices rising above $69 a barrel. The potential for additional tariffs on Russia could have significant implications for the global energy market, and we'll be keeping an eye on how this develops. That's all for now. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're glad you're still with us as we dive into the latest developments from across the globe. Today, we're focusing on a significant visit by U.S. President Donald Trump to the UK, where he met with Prime Minister Keir Starmer. This meeting was marked by several key discussions and announcements that could have profound implications for international relations, trade, and global security. One of the notable aspects of Trump's visit was his shift in stance on the conflicts in Gaza and Ukraine. During a press conference with PM Starmer, Trump expressed concern over real starvation in Gaza, contradicting his ally Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He also announced plans to set up food centers in the Palestinian territory to address the humanitarian crisis. Additionally, Trump gave Russian President Vladimir Putin a 10 to 12-day deadline to end the war in Ukraine, indicating a possible change in the U.S. approach to the conflict. The visit was not without its controversies, however. Trump reiterated his dislike for wind turbines, which he believes spoil the view at his Scottish golf resorts. He advocated for oil and gas power, contrasting with the UK's commitment to reach net zero carbon emissions by 2050. The US leader also commented on UK politics, dismissing London Mayor Sadiq Khan as a nasty person and expressing support for Nigel Farage, whose party is gaining traction in British polls. It's essential to consider these developments within the broader context of global politics and diplomacy. The interactions between world leaders can often reflect deeper strategic interests and alliances. As we analyze these events, it's crucial to approach them with a balanced perspective, recognizing both the potential benefits and challenges that arise from such high-level meetings. The implications of Trump's statements and actions during his visit will likely be felt in the coming weeks and months. As the international community navigates complex issues like trade agreements, climate change, and conflict resolution, the role of leadership and diplomacy cannot be overstated. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We've got a thought-provoking topic to dive into as we wrap up today's show. A recent article by Stephen Walt, a columnist at Foreign Policy and professor of international relations at Harvard University, caught my attention. The piece presents a compelling counterfactual scenario. What if President Donald Trump had chosen to pursue a more moderate and public-minded set of policies during his presidency? Walt argues that Trump had a unique opportunity to initiate far-reaching reforms, reduce political divides, and strengthen the United States' international position. He suggests that Trump could have used his charisma and political skills to push for sensible immigration reform, unify the country, and prioritize the needs of all Americans. The article also highlights the potential benefits of Trump adopting more environmentally friendly policies, investing in diplomacy, and promoting a strict meritocracy. However, as Walt acknowledges, this scenario assumes a different Trump, one who is genuinely committed to preserving democracy, improving the lives of Americans, and maintaining the United States' global influence. Unfortunately, the article concludes that Trump's actions have been driven by a desire for personal aggrandizement, rather than a commitment to the public good. It's essential to consider multiple perspectives on this issue. Some might argue that Trump's base would not have supported more moderate policies, and that his approach has been necessary to disrupt the status quo and challenge entrenched interests. Others might counter that Trump's divisive rhetoric and actions have undermined the country's social fabric and damaged its international reputation. As we reflect on Walt's article, it's crucial to recognize that the complexities of politics and governance often defy simplistic solutions. The United States faces numerous challenges, from economic inequality to climate change, and addressing these issues will require a nuanced and multifaceted approach. Ultimately, a question of what could have been had Trump taken a different path remains a matter of speculation. Nevertheless, Walt's article serves as a reminder that leadership matters, and the choices made by those in power can have far-reaching consequences for individuals, communities, and nations. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.